Imagine yourself in the middle of a chaotic day. Traffic seems like an orchestra of out-of-tune horns. Notifications pop up on your phone like fireworks, and your mind is racing so fast, it feels like a browser with 37 open tabs. Now, imagine there's a pause button hidden inside you in the best part. It's accessible at any moment. This button is your breath. With your breath, any ordinary day can transform. The alarm goes off, and you realize you're already late. But if traffic is good, you might still make it. You face chaotic traffic, and when you finally arrive at work, the demands seem endless. If you recognize that your days sometimes or always feel like this, let's activate that powerful tool within your reach. Know that this tool can bring calm and clarity in seconds. And the best part? You don't need to buy it from a store. You don't need to remember to put it in your bag or pocket. And it doesn't require any special equipment or even a quiet space. It's always with you, ready to be used at any moment. We're talking about your breath again. Yes, that's right. Here's something extraordinary. Your breath is not just a biological reflex, it's an access code to hack your own mind. When you slow down your breath, you send a direct signal to your brain. Hey, everything is okay. You can relax. The parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, and triggering a wave of tranquility. In other words, you literally have the power to change your mental state just by how you breathe. It's not magic, it's science, and it's fascinating. Try it now. Breathe in slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4, and exhale for 6. Repeat a few times. What did you notice? Did your heart slow down? Did your mind become less agitated? Congratulations, you just activated your Zen button. Now, what if every stressful moment could be an opportunity to practice this? Like a calmness ninja, ready to transform any chaos into mindful presence. Here's something extraordinary. The simplest way to calm your mind is right under your nose. Literally, your breath is the ultimate anchor to presence, always available and infinitely connected. In Zen, breath is more than just a biological function, it's a bridge to the present moment. Studies show that slow, deep breathing reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, leading the body to a state of relaxation. And what if every chaotic moment of your day came with an invisible pause button, your breath? Zen also invites us to embrace impermanence. Everything in life is transient: the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the challenging. By accepting this, we free ourselves from clinging to what we can't control. Imagine watching a sunset. It's beautiful, but it doesn't last forever. Instead of lamenting its end, we appreciate it while it's here. This perspective helps us approach life with gratitude, savoring each moment instead of wishing it away. Life is like a sunset. Are you enjoying or trying to hold on? In Zen, there is a deep teaching. Everything passes. This may sound obvious, but think about it. Have you ever had a bad day that seemed endless, but today is just a distant memory? Or a wonderful moment you wanted to freeze in time, but it inevitably dissolved? Impermanence is one of the central principles of Zen and Buddhism. Everything in life, the good and the bad, is transient, like a sunset. Scientists have discovered that every 7 years, all the cells in your body are renewed. In other words, you are literally not the same person you were 7 years ago. Your body knows how to renew itself, and your mind can also learn to let go of what is past. So, the next time something is bothering you, ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Breathe deeply, accept the flow of life, and appreciate the moment. For, like the sunset, it will soon give way to a new cycle. A practical way to start embracing Zen in unexpected places is through micro moments of mindfulness. These are brief pauses during the day when you consciously tune into your surroundings. It could be while waiting in line at a store, walking to your car, or having a cup of tea. In these moments, try to notice 3 things: a sound, a sight, and a physical sensation. This practice trains your mind to be present and helps you find calm amidst the chaos. Perhaps the traffic that delayed you gave you time to listen to an inspiring podcast. Maybe the unexpected change at work opened a new opportunity. What seems like an obstacle could be a new path opening up. Have you ever tried to solve a problem by force, only to realize that the more you struggle, the harder it gets? Taoism suggests that instead of fighting against the current, you can pause, breathe, and find a way to flow with the situation. This doesn't mean giving up, but finding a more harmonious approach. Next time you feel stuck in a difficult situation, ask yourself, how can I flow with this instead of fighting against it? Jot down your ideas and observe how this shift in perspective affects your experience. Positive psychology, a more recent field, focuses on how we can cultivate positive emotions and resilience. It complements Zen by showing us that even amid difficulties, we can find meaning and growth. Gratitude, for example, is a powerful practice that helps us focus on what we have rather than what we lack. Before going to bed, take 5 minutes to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. It could be something simple, like a delicious meal, a moment of connection with a friend, or even the sensation of breathing deeply. This practice not only improves your mood, but also strengthens emotional resilience. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Which of these philosophies resonates most with you right now? Why? Share in the comments a philosophical principle you'd like to apply more in your life. Let's create a community of learning and mutual support. The art of facing your fears. Like a mind samurai, Zen is not about avoiding emotions but facing them head-on with presence and acceptance. Scientists have discovered that feeling fear for more than 90 seconds is a choice. Our body releases adrenaline, but if we continue to feel fear after that time, it's because we are feeding that thought. In other words, you don't need to conquer fear, you just need to stop feeding it. Experiment. Next time you feel fear or anxiety, pause and breathe deeply for 90 seconds. Observe what happens. Does the fear remain as intense, or does it start to dissolve? Samare's practiced mushin, a mental state without distractions, where there is no room for fear, only conscious action. You can do the same. Fears and insecurities are a natural part of the human experience. They arise from our mind, which tries to protect us from potential dangers. However, many of these fears are illusory, based on expectations or past experiences. Zen teaches us to observe these fears without judgment, recognizing that they are transient and do not define who we are. Imagine you're afraid of public speaking. Instead of avoiding situations that require it, practice mindful breathing before you start. Observe the fear, acknowledge it, and let it go. Over time, you'll notice that the fear loses its intensity when it's not fed. Fear is just an illusion. It doesn't exist, you create it. All that exists is the present moment. Unknown. Think of a fear that has been limiting you. What would happen if you faced it with curiosity instead of avoiding it? Jot down 3 small steps you can take to confront it. Cultivating inner peace. Inner peace is not the absence of problems, but the ability to remain centered amidst them. Zen teaches us that peace is always available within us, and we can access it through breath and mindfulness. When you feel overwhelmed, try the 5 to 5 negative 5 technique. Breathe deeply for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and exhale for 5 seconds. Repeat this 5 times. This simple exercise can bring clarity and calm in moments of stress. Peace begins with a smile. Mother Teresa. Set aside 5 minutes a day to sit in silence and focus only on your breath. Observe how this affects your sense of peace over time. Emotional resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from adversity. Zen teaches us that resilience comes from accepting that life has ups and downs, and that each challenge is an opportunity for growth. When something goes wrong, instead of blaming yourself or playing the victim, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective transforms obstacles into valuable lessons. It's not the strength of the wind, but the flexibility of the bamboo that determines its resistance. Chinese proverb. Think of a difficult situation you overcame. What did you learn from it? How did this experience make you more resilient? The secret of elite swimmers. Here's a curious fact. Olympic swimmers learn to master their breath to enhance their performance. Michael Phelps, for example, trained to hold his breath longer than necessary, not just to swim better, but to stay calm under pressure. This means your breath can be your greatest ally, not only for relaxation, but also for facing challenges. Imagine that instead of panicking in a difficult situation, you had an internal superpower to slow down your mind and act with clarity. This superpower is already within you, just needs to be activated. And speaking of superpowers, in the next section, we'll explore how Zen philosophy can teach you to hack your own mind. Mindfulness, or present moment awareness, is the practice of being fully present in the current moment. Zen reminds us that the past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. All we have is the now. During a meal, try eating mindfully. Observe the texture, taste, and aroma of the food. Chew slowly and savor each bite. This simple practice can transform an everyday activity into a moment of connection and gratitude. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly. Buddha. Choose a routine activity, like washing dishes or taking a shower, and do it with full attention. Observe how this changes your experience. The secret of Shaolin monks. Did you know that Shaolin monks train their endurance not just with intense fights, but with breathing? Yes. They use ancient breathing techniques to endure extreme pain, blows, and even freezing temperatures. For them, breath is not just oxygen, it's vital energy, the key to overcoming limits. Think about it. If a monk can use breath to endure punches and falls, what's stopping you from using it to conquer a stressful meeting or that infernal traffic? But don't worry, you don't need to become a monk to apply this in your life. In the next section, we'll discover how a simple adjustment in breathing can reprogram your brain for balance. Does the Zen brain exist? Modern neuroscience confirms that practices like mindfulness and conscious breathing physically alter the brain. Monks and nuns who have practiced meditation for decades have a thicker prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus and emotional regulation. In other words, the more you train your mindful awareness, the more your mind becomes resilient and resistant to stress. Science is proving what Zen has known for centuries. But how can we apply this in practice? In a simple way, without having to live in a monastery. Let's explore that now. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It's the first step toward transformation. Zen teaches us that by accepting reality as it is, we can act with clarity and intention, rather than reacting impulsively. If you are dissatisfied with some aspect of your life, start by accepting the current situation. Instead of fighting against it, ask yourself, what can I do now to improve this? Acceptance opens space for real change. Acceptance doesn't mean agreeing, resigning, or giving up. It means seeing reality as it is and acting from there. Tara Brach, Zen Mission. Small challenges to transform your day. Now that we've explored these ideas, how about a practical challenge? Choose one to try this week. Zen Breathing Challenge. Before any stressful situation, a meeting, a difficult conversation, chaotic traffic, do 3 cycles of deep breathing, 4 to 4, -6. Then, observe if your reaction changes. Impermanence Challenge. Choose a small attachment you have it. Could be an object, a habit, or even a thought. For one day, try letting it go and see how you feel. Flexibility Challenge. Whenever something doesn't go as expected, ask yourself, how can I flow with this, instead of fighting against it? Then come back here and share your experience in the comments. What changed for you? The journey continues, and the next step is yours. If there's one thing Zen, Stoicism, and Taoism teach us, it's that inner peace is not a destination, it's a daily practice. And the good news? You already have all the tools within you. Just breathe, be present, and remember. Life doesn't need to be perfect to be appreciated. Now tell me, which of these ideas resonated most with you? How can you apply it today? Share in the comments, and let's learn together. Think of an area in your life where you've been resisting acceptance. What would change if you accepted it fully? What actions could arise from this acceptance? Which of these topics do you feel you need to work on the most right now? Why? Share in the comments an insight or learning you had while reflecting on these topics. Let's build a community of growth and mutual support. What is the biggest challenge you face in finding inner peace in your daily life? How do you deal with impermanence, the idea that everything in life is transient? Which mindfulness practice would you like to incorporate into your routine? Why? Share your answers in the comments. Let's exchange ideas and learn from each other. Challenge 1. Breath as an anchor. For 1 week, set aside 2 minutes each day to practice mindful breathing. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 6 seconds. At the end of the week, reflect, how did this practice impact your mental and emotional state? Challenge 2. Micro moments of mindfulness. Choose 3 moments in your day, like brushing your teeth, waiting for the elevator, or having coffee, and practice mindfulness. Observe 3 things: a sound, a sight, and a physical sensation. Share in the comments how your experience was. Challenge 3. Daily gratitude. Before going to bed, write down 3 things you are grateful for. It can be something big or small. The important thing is to cultivate gratitude. At the end of the week, reflect, how did this practice change your perspective? If you've already practiced any of the mentioned techniques, share in the comments how your experience was. If you haven't practiced yet, which one would you like to try first? If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel for more insights and practices like these. Together, we can create a journey of self-discovery and growth. Interaction in the comments is a powerful way to build an engaged and supportive community. Encourage the audience to share their experiences, questions, and insights. Share in the comments a situation where you used your breath to find calm. Let's inspire each other. Have you practiced mindfulness? Experiment 1. Non-judgmental observation. For 1 day, observe your thoughts and emotions without judging them. At the end of the day, note how this experience was. Did you notice any patterns or insights? Experiment 2. Flowing with the unexpected. Next time something goes wrong, try adopting an attitude of acceptance and flexibility. Note how this affects your reaction and the outcome of the situation. Experiment 3. Connecting with the present. Choose an activity you do on autopilot, like driving or washing dishes, and do it with full attention. Share in the comments how this experience was. Which of these challenges or experiments are you most excited to try? Why? If you enjoyed this content and want to dive deeper, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to not miss any videos in the series. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and growth together. Throughout this content, we've explored together tools and philosophies that can transform how we approach life. But before we conclude, I want to emphasize something fundamental. Zen, Stoicism, Buddhism, Taoism, and positive psychology are not about perfection, they are about practice. And practice means trying, making mistakes, learning, and above all, authenticity. I am also on this journey. There are days when mindful breathing feels easy, and others when my mind is so agitated I can barely count to 4. There are moments when I accept impermanence with gratitude, and others when I find myself resisting what I can't control. And that's okay. Growth is not linear, and each challenge is an opportunity to learn and evolve. I remember a time when I felt constantly overwhelmed. It was through the practice of Zen and Stoic philosophy that I began to find clarity and peace, but it didn't happen overnight. It was small steps, micro moments of mindfulness, that helped me rebuild my relationship with stress and uncertainty, and I'm still learning. This content is not a manual of rules, but an invitation to explore and experiment. Each of us has a unique journey, and what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. The important thing is to be open to trying, reflecting, and adjusting as needed. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to try. Every small step counts. Every moment of mindfulness is a victory, and every challenge overcome is a lesson learned. This is just the beginning. The practice of Zen and the philosophies we've explored today is an endless path filled with discoveries and insights. And the best part? You're not alone on this journey. Together, we can create a community of support, learning, and growth. If this content resonated with you, join us on this journey by subscribing to the channel. What was the biggest insight you had while exploring this content? How do you plan to put it into practice starting today? Choose one of the practices or philosophies discussed and commit to trying it for a week. At the end of this period, reflect. What changed? What did you learn? Share your experience in the comments to inspire others. When was the last time you stopped to really observe your breath? How do you handle stressful moments in your daily life? Have you tried using your breath as a resource? Do you believe that small daily practices can bring more peace and balance to your routine? Why? If this content made sense to you, like the video, share it with someone who needs this simple and effective tool, and leave a comment sharing your experience with mindful breathing. Want to dive deeper? We have an exclusive ebook on how to apply mindfulness and breathing to transform your daily life. The link is in the first pinned comment. And if you want to continue this journey of self-discovery, watch the other videos appearing on the screen now. Breathe deeply, observe, and allow yourself to live fully. Until the next content,